Check.
Ready?
Yes, we are live.
We are like,
Remember, Shane, what you said. Those who stay in glass houses shouldn't throw stones at each other. Just
What glass
remember.
house do I stay in?
Hell froze.
Oh,
I might end the streak today. The
You
streak
might
is
not.
ending today. Since it's RCB who are playing.
What if RCB troll you back?
They won't.
So what has RCB got to do with your streak ending today?
He's convinced they'll lose. But looks
Yes. See, I've reached the perfect 10.
What is the perfect 10? Let our viewers know who just joining us now.
Yes,
The
the
10 predictions, 10 are wrong. Perfect.
no, I've done the two-peat. Scores wrong, teams wrong.
Oh, how proud you are of.
like look at him.
10 and 0.
Yeah,
He's so proud of it.
so proud,
Not
so
10 and
happy
oh.
about it.
0 and 10.
Actually.
Yes.
So, come up with your logic. Why you think it will end? Because you will pick
RR, of course.
and
Top of the table, they can defend, they can chase. Such is the depth that they have.
Do we
No,
know?
their depth we are
Their depth we
unsure
can't
about.
take anytime.
The moment Hetmer gets out, they don't have anybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it's RCB.
So RR are losing today because he has said
Yeah,
that.
It might change.
He's supporting RR.
Yeah.
Back RCB players when it's fantasy
When
time.
you're
as well.
making a fact.
Also, I think so. They all depend on toss also because in at the Wankhede we have at least seen that teams bowling first have gotten the teams out like for a
Very
lower
cheaply.
score,
150.
like for 130 odd, 140 odd, and then they have chased it down with 5-6 wickets in hand.
So
Exactly.
my question is, on Wankhede, should teams reconfigure what is the total that they want to go for compared to other grounds? Because we've seen it now in T20 and also with this new template that each team wants to adopt, that you are aiming for 200 because 200s are being chased as well. 170, 180 is also a good total. But at Wankhede, seeing the kind of games that have happened, should teams look at 150, 60 and be happy?
I think the trend is changing. It's now 12 games, 6 teams have won defending, 6 teams have won while chasing.
Yeah.
So now that trend, we don't know what is the new trend now that is going to come up.
I think eventually, not now, I'm saying eventually team batting first will end up winning more. Because one, now summers are setting in, spring's getting over, so
Yes.
you will have less dew. Secondly, pitches will begin to get tired,
Big
which
pitches.
means that chasing will become tougher. So
Tougher.
again, another thing that will help you bat first. So towards the second half of the IPL, I don't know now, maybe they'll still be 50-50 even.
Yeah.
Second half of the IPL, most teams batting first will win, which means at the end of the group stage, when you look at all games, you might just say teams batting first have won more, which
Yeah.
may sound quite unbelievable at the moment, looking at how the games are happening.
Absolutely. But again, Wankhede is the only venue where you've not had huge scores, like how in D.Y. Patil or in MCA Pune.
Yeah.
So, in the first game, it was 130. I think the Lucknow Gujarat game that was played at D.Y. Patil, right? Not in, or Brabon. I think it was played at Brabon.
Yeah, it was.
So, in one of the, Wankhede, if you have to look at it, not many teams have reached 150. So, maybe they might want to bat first in this particular game.
Carry on.
So that is why I think RR, you may agree, yes, there's not enough depth. After Hetmeyer, there's no batting. But then again, the top 5 have been performing for you guys. So
I just went to get a bat,
The excitement
so I
over today's
can
game.
whack it on
No,
6 head.
I think so. Before whacking, I think so I'll get whacked. So
no, I thought the bat
Babu
meant,
Rao.
I meant Chamkadar.
let me know when to duck.
Babu Rao.
I'll go like.
I thought you meant Chamkadar, the other quote which I had said.
What is Shamgadar code? Again,
Okay.
on popular demand.
Yes, I said that okay, teams have lost. There will be many fans and many people who say, oh, but they put up a fight. They lost by only 6 runs. They lost by 7. No, you lost. So a famous Paresh Rawal dialogue from Mala Mal Weekly is, चमकादर को उल्टा लटकाओगे तो वो मोर नहीं बन जाता. And KKR are going to find that out pretty soon. See, I'll again come to the points table.
Just
Okay,
second the
Shivam,
points
can you
table.
show the points table to our lovely family members who are joining us?
Yes.
Show them the points table.
There is a major error in that.
What
Not
is the
many
major
people have pointed it out, and no one has the guts to tell the broadcasters and that there's a major error in that.
What is the major error? Go.
KKR are on 4, but they are technically 0.
What do you mean?
Because when they play Mumbai Indians, they've already lost 2, so -4. So they're already beginning with -4. So that is why they should be 0, not 4. That is the major blunder that we have made.
Please cut to us, Shivam,
He
and
talks
show
a,
the faces of my lovely colleagues here.
I mean, he talks a lot of smack for someone whose team is second last.
Wow. Like he's talking about KKR losing to MI, where CSK have lost 3 in a row.
But
And KKR haven't even played them.
But CSK are not even in the same boat. Look at the
CSK are not in the same boat. They are not on a boat. They are drowning.
MI, CSK,
CSK are
SRH.
drowning.
10 out of 15 title
Via
winners at the
KKR
bottom.
fan, you missed it. You went out.
Yes. Okay, to all KKR fans again, there is a major error in the points table. Even the host broadcaster is not showing it. They are technically 0. They can't be 4 points.
He's saying KKR, who are second on the points table with 4 points, actually are 0 points. You will ask why? Saransh, who is a KKR fan,
Yes.
asks why?
Because you are going to play Mumbai Indians 2 times and that is always -4 for you. So that is why Mumbai Indians,
But you know,
KKR.
even if you have to pick apart the fact, let's leave
Do
it
you
at
understand?
that.
वक्त बदल देखा है कभी?
Yes.
Did you understand his logic? He says Mumbai Indians you will lose, so that is.
We have been saying it for
But
14
it's
years.
not- But now point तो वही आया ना कि जो खुद शीशे के घरों में रहते हैं ना वो दूसरों के घर में-
And one more thing, what is this?
The thing you started with.
Yes.
The thing you started with.
And FYI, you guys remember like when we used to be in school, we used to have these certain MCQ papers, we used to have negative marking.
Yeah.
This doesn't apply in the IPL table. They can lose both matches, they'll still have 4 points.
They're still 0. So your logic is
Logic
bakwas.
is also
Bakwas.
हाँ.
वो
How can it be 0? It will still be 4 only.
Bakwas.
होता है ना जलो मत
No,
Bakwas.
said how Deepika Padukone said it in Chennai Express.
Oh my god, of all movies.
Of all like a
That's
troll
why
level,
Chennai-
troll level to a different level altogether.
He hates Chennai Express.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen it.
What did she
Not
say?
them.
Bakwas.
Okay, so for all for you, कहाँ से करे इसी बकवास dictionary?
Bakwas.
So
He has seen the movie to remember the dialogue and all, and he hates it.
By the way, he says no. He says he hasn't seen it. Last time you said do not.
No, I have not seen
अरे he
it.
don't watch movies
Ah,
He has seen
I
it.
have seen it.
You have
He's
also not
also
seen
watched
it. But you know the dialogue.
This
it
Bakwas.
came as a meme, no?
Alright.
Bakwas dictionary that everybody picked on her accent.
कहाँ से करेंगे
Wait, okay. Tell. Was it an authentic Chennai
No
accent?
way, no way.
So as authentic as Sagar Ratna food is when they claim to
Ah,
be South
South
Indian.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we go to Naivedyam.
It was a bad movie. It was a bad
Navadyam is better. Than
Yeah, that's why Naivedyam.
Navadyam, what is that other place I'm forgetting? Karnataka Cafe, another good one to go to.
Oh yeah, but it's
A lot of people are like Sarvana Bhavan chal jao. Sarvana Bhavan.
So the Tamilian here won't be happy because that's run by Karnataka.
Bangalore people.
Let me not get into the politics of it. That's the thing. So yes, it was just a off the cusp remark at our KKR fans. They
Okay, let's look at the table seriously now.
Yeah.
Not what Siddharth is doing. Please show us the points table. So the game is between team number 1 right on top of the points table, Rajasthan Royals. 2 games, 2 wins, both games 193 in one, over 200 in the other. So they are a
Net run rate
batting.
is amazing.
Yeah, they are batting powerhouse. Net run rate of 2.100. And then they are taking on RCB, which are 7th on the points table at the moment. 2 games, 1 loss and 1 win. And so one was a low-scoring game, which they huffed and puffed, but won
Yes.
against.
Despite trying very hard to throw it.
KKR.
Yeah.
Against KKR.
against the straw-housed KKR, they huffed and puffed.
And then the one that they got a lot of runs against Punjab, they lost because Punjab chased that down. That is 200. So what's going to happen? This again is a low-scoring ground, as we've just
Yes.
mentioned. It's being played at the Wankhede. The other thing we begin to notice is that the toss has not become very crucial because, as we've explained in our shows in the past, that the spray is now being put at 5 p.m., which means that the dew isn't there, as we've seen in the last 2 games. So not too much of a headache now if you've gotten a chance to bat first. So bowling second half isn't too much of a problem. So what happened in this game? Siddharth has already picked
Rajasthan Royals.
Rajasthan Royals. which
RCB fans
means-
celebrate.
easy win for RCB
Like even Saransh is
By
saying
the
easy
way-
win for RCB now.
By the way, the 10-wicket win last time when they played the Wankhede RR versus RCB, it was a 10-wicket win. Thanks to Devdutt Padikal's century.
And now he's a switch sides.
He switched sides, yes.
Also, could you just keep us updated with the toss, because the toss is going to happen. So Shivam,
In
please,
2-3
signing
minutes.
up, be on that. What I am looking forward to this game is one contest in particular. I don't know about you guys, but that is going to be UC Chahal versus Virat Kohli.
Yes.
Because Yuzi up against his
Former
team, which was his team. He was with Mumbai Indians, but majority of time he spent with RCB, so you associate him with RCB. RCB is a team that did not retain him, even though Chahal has been pretty sporting about that, but you know that he would be hurt. Anybody would be. if
He
you
recently
are-
made a statement saying he is emotionally attached to RCB.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Even though he's been pretty nice, but you can make out heart of heart he'd be hurt because we didn't retain him.
Of
In
course.
fact, what he mentioned that they didn't even ask him.
I think he'll be fired up tonight.
Yeah.
I think he will want to get at least 2-3 big wickets for the Rajasthan Royals, because RCBC, you have to understand, they did not retain him. They could have retained one more player,
Yes.
but they did not retain him.
Why don't you answer the question which a lot of people would want to know, Siri, about the Australian player's status? So who's it? Maxwell
Maxwell and Hazelwood.
and Hazelwood.
And
Yes.
Behrendorff.
So yeah, Jason Behrendorff, Josh Hazelwood, and Glenn Maxwell, all three part of the RCB setup, but they cannot play until 6th. Why? Today is the final T20 between Pakistan and Australia. Cricket Australia have clearly said that no Australian player can play until the end of the Pakistan series. But when the Aussie players come from Pakistan to India, they have to serve a 3-day mandatory quarantine. But with Maxwell's case, it is different. Maxwell was not part of the Australian team to Pakistan. So he joined the squad only recently, that is yesterday. So he has to serve a 3-day quarantine. So he won't be available till 8th.
No, but he has served his 3-day quarantine. He's now practicing, also training with them. But
But he
all
can't play.
contracted
All
players,
contracted players
all
can't
contracted
play.
players
Yes,
can't
cannot
play.
play.
That is why Matthew Wade is allowed to play,
Yes.
because he's not contracted
So is Daniel
with Cricket
Sams.
Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, RCB have won the toss.
And
The
they'll
latest
bowl.
update.
And they think they'll bowl. But
Everyone convinced that they will bowl?
I thought I saw far more.
No, because teams.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, they are bowling.
No, but the teams bowling first have actually done
An
well.
easy win for RCB.
So now RCB are winning.
Doesn't matter.
Let me
Saransh
change
is
my
pointing
teams.
out that doesn't matter whether
They bowl or
RCB
bat.
bowl
It's
or bat
anyway
first.
6-6 in 12 matches. 6-6.
Because Siddharth has picked Rajasthan, so
Easy win for
RCB will win.
it has
That's
to
also
be.
true.
Yeah.
Surely it has to.
With Josh Hazelwood's case, it is very different. Hazelwood went back to Australia after the end of the Test series. He was not part of the ODI or the T20Is. So he's not even linked up with the RCB squad at this point in time. So if Hazelwood comes tomorrow, he will have to serve a 3-day quarantine. So he won't be available till 12th.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
this. The same thing with Jason Behrendorff. So he can't play until 9th. Stoinis still 10th for Lucknow Super Giants because he's also playing the T20I. He will link up with the Lucknow side after this. So 3 days, Lucknow's next game is on the 10th.
It's doubtfully start that because you're coming straight out of quarantine. 10, they might just
Same with Finch for KKR. But Finch,
is
whether
not
he
starting
play,
it.
But I don't think they'll play Finch any which
Yeah,
way.
He's not.
David Warner will play on the 7th. He's already served his quarantine. But whether they pick him, they will have to pick him because the Delhi top order is pretty weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitchell
Maybe
Marsh, very uncertain. His side strain, Ricky Ponting has said they will monitor it, but they don't know when he'll be available.
Okay, let's get down to answering a few questions. We'll give you the update of the playing 11 and we'll quickly look at that and then analyze if there are any changes. So just to let you know what the captains have said, we've got Faf du Plessis who said we'll have a bowl. Just the trend and with the due effect, but just to remind our good friend Faf du Plessis that the trend is changing. It's 6-all as Siddharth pointed out. So teams batting first or team batting second. It's divided between them equally. 6 teams batting first have won 6 times and 6 times team batting second have won. So there is no trend as such. The pitch doesn't look very different, so we'll have to see what the dew does. The fact that pleases me is that we hung in the last game, yes, by the skin of their teeth, if I may add. It gives a lot of confidence to the group. Even though you aren't playing at your best, it is pleasing. So that's one thing that Faf du Plessis is pointing out, that RCB are not at their best and still they've got one game that they won and one that they lost. No changes for RCB.
Both sides unchanged.
Both sides are unchanged. Okay, that is what you expected. Again, RCB coming off a win. I think Akashdeep was the only one who was expensive, but picked up 3 wickets, so there was no way that you were going to, have him out. Anuj Rawat, a few questions there. Is he the right guy to be opening the batting? You still need him to keep wickets, but he's still, I think, the guy that you can bring in the middle order.
Here's
Yeah.
an interesting thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Sanju Samson, after the toss happened, he's saying that the surface looks completely different. So which captain is right here? Because Faf said that it doesn't look too different. Sanju's saying it looks entirely different. So I mean,
Sometimes gamesmanship as well.
Also,
because-
the ball has swung early on.
Yeah.
In the last 3 games that have happened at the Wankhede.
Yes.
So I expect it to be the case today also. Maybe Willie can come in handy.
Yeah.
David Willie can come in handy in those situations.
But I don't know whether he'll bat that high up the order like he did last time. I think he came at 4. If I'm
He
not
came at
mistaken.
4.
Yeah. So last game you had RCB. I think 11 again. Maybe you would have looked at an Akashdeep or Anuj Rawat, but they clearly haven't changed that. So they've gone with that tried and tested 11. But should Anuj Rawat open or not? I still feel that Virat Kohli, he's the
Kohli
guy who
is
should.
faster.
Yeah.
No, but they're gonna make him open, I guess, if they've kept him in the side.
Just like Abhishek.
I think
Sunrisers.
they were 17 for 3 in the last game.
Yeah. Just go down, please, Saransh, for us. Sorry, what do you say?
They were 17 for 3 in the last game, and that was all Faf du Plessis, Anuj Rawat and Virat Kohli, all 3 were out.
Yeah.
Then you remember Rutherford and David Willie had a slow partnership.
Yes.
Yeah.
That still got them back into the game. The 45 odd runs they scored together, and that was much needed because if they would have lost a wicket at that point, they would have lost the
They
game.
would've- Yes.
They would have lost the game. So I think Rutherford and Willie today it might be different, as you rightly pointed out. They could look at
not
somebody.
gonna bat at 4.
I think the Shahbaz Ahmed showed last game that he can
Oh.
bat and smash the
And Dinesh
ball.
Karthik came at 7 or 8.
Dinesh Karthik was the finisher,
He's the
designated finisher.
So I think he'll then come depending on the match situation and not so much batting position.
Yeah.
So when you just need to finish, he'll come, right? Whether it is
And-
at 7 or whether it's
And not to forget their side, if you look at Anuj Rawat is a lefty, Sharfain Rutherford is a lefty, Shahbaz Ahmed is a lefty, David Willie is a lefty. So packed with left-handers, I think so. You never know. They might even experiment with sending Hasaranga earlier than one of these guys.
Yeah.
4
But what is-
left-handers and 7 right-handers in the team, effectively.
Yes.
Technically, they're not packed with
No, but
left-handers.
if you look at their
Yeah,
batting,
batting.
But if you look at the composition of the Rajasthan Royals, Yashasvi, Devdutt, Shimron, out of the 5 that you're seeing, 3 are left-handers. 3 out of 5
No,
combined
so-
with 4 out of 7.
Today, then, because we are talking about Yuzi Chahar, Ravichandran Ashwin could be also very crucial.
Yeah.
Since
Very
they could
handy.
be
That's what I was coming to.
Left-handers in the Royal Challengers Bangalore team. Looking at a few again, many contests. There's one Ashwin versus Virat Kohli as well, but I think Virat has got the better of Ashwin.
Yeah.
For a long time. So I think the better contest is going to be, and that's a question that I'm going to take, which was Rohit Roy's. Who will win the battle? Kohli versus Chahal. Firstly, it's an exciting battle to
Yeah.
watch. Just
Yeah.
the fact that Yuzi Chahal is going to be up against his previous team. I think that as soon as Virat comes out to bat, you will see Yuzi Chahal with the ball, and it's not so much because he'll be fired up playing against his former team, but more so because he's a leg spinner, and doesn't matter which team or which bowler it is. Once Virat comes out, you will definitely have a leg spinner.
Yeah.
If you had to ask me to pick one, I'm going with a wily fox that is Yuzi Chahal.
Yes, and
But again, there is one bowler in that who's got Virat Kohli's number in this current squad, and that is Trent Bolt. Bolt, that in-swinger, he's troubled Virat a lot. In that World Cup semi-final, in-swinger got him plumb LBW. Even in the Test series that he played in New Zealand 2020, he got him out a lot of times. So the short ball or with the in-swinger. So if supposing Kohli can hang in and get past Bolt, then Chahal comes into play.
No, but
Throw it next
Kohli.
level. He's saying before you're even talking about
Chahal.
Yuzi Chahal and Virat
Yeah,
Kohli have to
get
go
past
back.
Trent Bolt.
But he may not get to face Trent Bolt. Why are you assuming that Anuj Rawat and Faf du Plessis are out in the power play?
No, Anuj Rawat is the weak link, just like Abhishek Sharma is of Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah.
But that
No, but Kohli likes playing against Rajasthan Royals.
Anuj Rawat 50.
In the last 4 innings or something, he scored over 200 runs against them.
Yeah, against them, correct.
But yeah, the bowling lineup has completely changed. And thanks for the music.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay, what
Yeah.
were you saying?
So I was saying that Kohli likes playing against the Rajasthan Royals. Scored over 200 runs
Would he
in
like
about
playing against
4
this
innings
bowling line?
against them. Huh?
Would you like playing against this bowling line?
Again, for me, that I think that bold question remains for both Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
We have seen it in the past. Even KL Rahul, for that matter, they've given their wickets away to left armers who swing the ball. That in swing is a big problem for them. And let's see how Bolt goes against Kohli. Because I'm sure they're going to think about getting Bolt on before even Yuzvendra
See,
Chahal.
Kohli faces an even tougher proposition because compared to previous encounters against Rajasthan Royals, that bowling was not so strong.
Yeah, it
This
was really
bowling,
a bad-
if forget Bolt, there's Prasidh. Prasidh has been in top form.
Yeah. But I mean, yes, he's quick. But does pace trouble Virat Kohli? Not quite.
Not so
Swing,
much.
yes.
Perhaps that fiddling outside off stump again. He's
Yeah.
not gotten over that totally.
Yeah, no, last dismissal.
Yeah.
That was quite telling, actually.
Against Umesh, in fact. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That was quite telling because Virat Kohli, you would have imagined maybe Test cricket, you look at it. In white ball cricket, he generally doesn't get troubled with that outside the off stump
Yes.
ball. He can dominate, he can play his shots. But that was telling. For the first time, I felt that he looked helpless as well. As in, he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
He knows that that's the weakness. He knows that the bowlers are going to exploit it, and yet he was out. But so it's a. But I mean, he had a good start to the IPL. I think 41 not out.
41,
Virat
yes.
Kohli. So can't really say he's out of form. It's just that we're looking at the extension from international cricket to now. But today is going to be a big day. I think Yuzi Chahal comes on. If he's batting, I would love to see that contest. I'm picking Yuzi Chahal
Yeah.
to get the
One
better
more
of him.
Bangalore lad in the Royals team, Devdutt Padikkal. That also,
Yes.
how he copes up with his former bowlers like Siraj and Harshal will be very, very interesting.
But also looking at Rajasthan's team, I don't know if they could make a few changes, especially
Their batting.
since we know their batting is kind of weak in
Very,
the
very
middle order.
Riyan
But then
Parag
you
batting
need
at
to
6.
look at someone like Yashasvi Jaiswal to go out. Maybe I don't know whether that is something.
No, but my problem is who do you get in? They'll have to get who will open. Devdutt Padikkal will go in as opener
Yeah.
then,
Yes.
and they can get because they are only playing how many foreigners?
Three foreigners.
Three foreigners.
They need to get
They can
Neesham.
some.
Jimmy Neesham, yeah.
I think so. They can get Rassie van der Dussen also.
Yeah, actually I'd go with Van der Dussen.
Van der Dussen provides more solidity in the middle. Then you look at that side. You look at where Riyan Parag is. For me, he's batting a number 2 high for him. For my liking, because we have seen in the past it is Butler firing, Padikkal firing, Sanju Samson firing, and Hetme firing that has gotten them to those big scores.
What
The day one or two of them gets out, that could have happened against Sunrisers also
Yes.
if they had taken those wickets early on.
Yeah.
But that has not been the case, and they've won 2 games. But I'm still skeptical about their batting lineup because Riyan Parag, and then immediately you see Ravichandran Ashwin, Navdeep Saini, Trent. That's a long,
Very,
long
very
tail.
long tail.
That's a long
Very
tail. You
long
see, Navdeep Saini. He's definitely not somebody who can smash the ball for me.
Exactly.
Trent Bolt, I think so, is a better
Batsman than-
batter than Navdeep Saini for sure. So I'm just not sure about this batting lineup. But yeah, again they've played 2 games really well.
Won 2 games.
Yeah.
No, but then if you pick Rassi, then you may have to compromise perhaps potentially on 5th bowling option. Then get Neesham in.
No,
Neesham
how?
might be
I'm
the
saying you remove Yashasvi Jaiswal and you get
top order. Then again that.
Okay, Shivam has an input, please.
सर क्या आप अपना गेमजी में टीम अपडेट कर रहे हैं?
गेमजी में
मैंने 2 टीम
कर दिया, मैंने भी अपडेट कर दिया.
मैं तीसरी टीम बना रहा हूँ.
If you haven't made your team on Gamezy, please download the Gamezy app. It allows you to win up to 5 crore daily in prize money. You can make multiple teams for 5 overs. Also, there are different contests, and you can even make teams in the middle of the innings. So while my colleagues get down to doing that, a few questions here. Kunal Singh is saying, I guess Shane Dyers is a Messi fan. Is that true?
That would be correct, actually.
That is correct.
How did
There
you
you
guess
go.
that?
How did you guess that? Maybe he's been watching all your football videos, and there is
No, but we haven't talked.
Shane Dyers' bias may be coming across.
Absolutely.
Very
No, but
Messi
Messi bias, I don't know, because maybe because you're a Chelsea fan, not a United fan.
No, that's not the main reason. Just I prefer the style of player that Messi was.
Okay, Kunal Singh says can't wait for today's match. Both IPL and Champions League completed all my work, finished the college assignments, and now just waiting. Absolutely. So there is an IPL game. There's Football Champions League. We've got a preview of Football Champions League also up on Sports Today, so do check that out as well. Santosh Surabhi is saying Sanju versus Hasaranga. That's another interesting battle.
Yes, Hasaranga has had his number.
3 matches, 11 runs, 2 wickets. Vanindu versus Sanju. And technically now, if you look at it, we are reaching that Sanju Samson territory where he will start to go down.
Single day, phone number.
Yes, single digit phone numbers.
That will
Oh,
happen.
Sanju.
Okay. Darshan Jain, just because we mentioned Messi and CR7, everyone individually say your personal favorites. Kunal Singh has already guessed for a lot of us, but Darshan Jain just wants to know quickly.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
I'm Messi, he's Messi. So we're split 50-50.
Split.
We'll do a debate as to who is better one day.
Oh
Ronaldo.
God, that will be fun.
Oh my God, there'll be no end to it.
Yeah.
And no wrong answer. That's thinking weird, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Akash Yadav has picked Kimmich anyway.
Joshua Kimmich.
Yes.
I mean,
Kimmich.
great player, but
Akash Yadav has picked. Yeah,
No,
it's
but-
his choice.
Bayern Munich fan, clearly.
yeah.
Kunal Singh has asked Akash in return, how is your Yadav community coming along? Huh? They started off very well. How are the Yadavs doing now?
Kuldeep is still doing well.
No, Umesh for me has been the biggest hit. The biggest hit.
Yeah.
और प्लीज आप कल केकेआर से दूर
Umesh fire है.
मेरा कल छुट्टी है.
हाँ गुड
Even better.
केकेआर से
I'll support KKR tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
अरे वी डोंट वांट सपोर्ट
Good to see. Good to see.
Talking about Yadavs, Ghansham Yadav has joined our chat. He's
Hello,
saying,
Ghansham.
young Rohit in 2007 T20 World Cup or young Kohli in the 2011 World Cup.
2007 Rohit.
But he didn't get
2011 Kohli. 2011 Kohli.
Kohli.
Bangladesh he scored.
His debut,
First match.
Rohit's debut came in that virtual knockout against South
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah.
50 on debut.
हाँ रोहित इन 2007 for me as well
I'll go with Virat in 20.
Yeah, Virat in 2011.
Yeah.
Okay. Salim P. Assam says, watching from Dubai, your opinions and knowledge, cricketing knowledge is the best. You people are inspiring us young Indians.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Salim,
much.
for watching us, and hope that you can be with us throughout, and we hope to be enriched by your knowledge as well, your comments as well. And we just come here not to give knowledge but just talk cricket. That's what we love doing, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Yes.
Akash, do you think Akash Deep has played well?
Very, very
Very tricky
Yeah,
question.
tricky question.
mixed response.
Mixed, yeah.
I would say he was a little lucky also last game. I thought those 3 wickets.
Yeah.
I don't think he bowled that well. Reap the rewards probably with the other bowlers also bowling well.
Yeah.
But I think he gave away too many runs in the first game also. That's my only problem.
Yeah.
He has gotten 4 wickets in total in 2 games. 1 in the first game, 3 in the last game. But yeah, his bowling looks like somebody who can get tonged quite a bit.
Subhranshu Panda is saying, and we can discuss a bit on that. He's saying, I'm a huge fan of Virat Kohli. Any prediction of Virat Kohli 100 in the ongoing IPL?
Difficult. Because if
Why?
you look at 2016, the way how Kohli was confident and immediately off the blocks, somewhere that is missing in 2022. Of course, age might have been a factor, but 2016, Virat Kohli was an alpha male of batting in all formats.
Yeah.
75 in tests, 90 in ODIs, 116 average in T20s with a strike rate of 150.
Yep.
And in 2016, 973 was just a precursor. In the World T20 2016, that 82 against Australia was a sight for the gods. Here, he is probably not playing that role because he's not getting off the blocks quickly. There's far too uncertainty. 100, we all want 100, but maybe in this match or in this IPL, very difficult.
Shane?
See, I mean, honestly, I want it to happen, but I think right now he's in that little bit of a funk where he's playing well, not playing as well as probably we'd expect him. So it seems a little tough, at least for the short term. If things turn around, I mean, yeah, you really don't know.
Yeah, not happening.
I'll tell you what, one thing that I've noticed with Virat Kohli this season is that his strike rate has really gone up. So he's consciously, I think, thought about it. I don't know whether it is just for the IPL or whether this is something that he consciously wants to do going forward in Indian cricket as well. Because there is a lot of chatter about how is it that India should play going forward in the T20 format, and the captaincy has changed. That India wants to have a different template. This word template has been used very often in
Quite a bit.
cricket. So if that is something that the Indian team is looking at going forward, maybe Virat realizes that, and maybe that is his way of changing his game. And what better place than the IPL to do it, to experiment with that. Before this, if his strike rate was hovering around the 130, 140 mark, now I mean one game I think he was close to 170 if I'm not mistaken. So that has really gone up. He was not out in one game. So that has happened. Does that then hamper his chances of getting 100? Yes, because if you're going to be batting at a much higher strike rate, then you're also playing a very high risk sort of game. that does hamper his chance. But I think all Virat fans, and all of us included, everyone would want Virat to do well.
Yeah.
I think all you would want from him is not 100. I don't think that number really makes a difference. What you would want is for him to play as many match-winning knocks as possible, whether it is a 50 or a 60 of 30 balls, 40 balls. I think that is important, because in T20 cricket, actually 100, I mean, it has no relevance as such. Yes, it is there for a personal record, you could feel happy about it, but you would rather want players to play a very, very important role. And for the Indian team, for the RCB, and even for Virat, if you'd ask him, probably getting those quick fire 50s, 60s is what he'd be aiming for. And then going forward, if the 100 comes along, why not?
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
But if you see, even Virat scores 70 or 40, but those strokes are crisp. He finds the gap and it's aggressive. It's as equal to 100 as he is it.
Yep.
I don't think 100 in the IPL would matter. I think so it's the
Yes.
international 100 that's probably playing on his mind.
Yes. Shiju Abraham is picked. Virat 100 and Rajasthan win.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very interesting.
But that, I think a Virat 100, if the strike rate that he's batting at gets that 100, then
So Virat.
RR winning may not be the case. Huh?
Yeah, Virat is going to be chasing, right? So if he scores 100, I don't think they're
Chase
losing.
master.
Yeah.
I don't think they're losing then.
Yes, I doubt it. Shiju Abraham, interesting comment, but we don't agree with you, my friend.
Yes.
Harsh Patel has an interview. Which cricketer do you think can score a 200 in T20 in today's time?
I think Josh Butler.
Yeah.
But
He
actually
can.
is an interesting shout. Andre Russell if he bats 10 overs.
No, but
thing
Russell
is
comes
for-
lower down the order, and that's why it's very difficult.
For
That's
you
why it's
to-
prefixed.
So that is what,
Openers.
20 overs, so that's 120 balls. At best you get 60 or 70 or 80 balls. So you need to get 280 balls.
It's 250 strike rate.
Basically like stick cricket.
But that can happen.
Can happen.
That can happen. I think
don't
so.
know.
We'll see in the future.
I don't know.
We'll see it happening
Well,
sometime
Gale
in the
did come
future.
close, 175 or 66
Yeah.
Yeah.
in 2013. But now with Gale gone, who's in the current crop that can do it? I will have to agree with Butler.
Butler.
Butler looks the most likely.
Butler is
candidate.
clearly the best T20 batsman in world cricket at the moment.
Who else? Who else?
I don't know, and you have to point out that Rohit Sharma has not been in great form, but he has that ability. The only thing with Rohit is that he takes time to get into that mode. If you look at his 200s in ODIs, it's not the first 100, it's usually the second 100 comes towards the ladder half. So I don't think in 60 balls he can go at that rate. So not him. I don't know who else could it be.
Yeah, it's
I think
very
Butler.
difficult. One of the most of the West Indies guys bat lower down the order, so that's why
That's one of the things. Yeah.
that's why getting a 200.
Gale
from-
actually was the best shout if he was playing.
Yeah.
AB might have done it.
AB, but he was batting
Again,
at 4.
batting at 4, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying if you open and that at best you'll get 60 or 70 balls to bat, and in that many balls to get a.
But I was doing
100.
commentary
One
when.
of our family members are saying Livingston.
Liam Livingston, no, batting at 4.
Yeah.
No, but he bats. He opens for his side as well.
But
100.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
ABD could have been a good.
Ashish Pandya
shot,
saying
but-
angry Chahal for RCB is going to do amazing things today. No, we already predicted that Chahal will do amazing things. Whether he'll be angry or not is a very interesting point, and this is something that I've noticed with Yuzi Chahal. I'm sure he must be hurt, but he doesn't get angry, or even if he gets angry, he doesn't show it.
Yeah.
Imagine nobody else I could think of would be praising Hasaranga, someone who's literally taken his place.
Yes,
He was praising him on
absolutely.
social media.
Yes.
There have been times where I have seen in live Instagram chats of other cricketers where Yuzi Chahal has just popped in and said hello, and he's been not spoken to very politely, and yet he's been okay with it. So I don't think he's that kind of a guy who gets angry or takes offense very fast. He's kind
He's
of
had to
sporting.
control his anger because of chess. Chess teaches you how to control your
Comes
emotions.
chess expert.
Chess expert because of.
No, because
Family
if
upbringing.
for many of the fans, Yajuvendra Chahal wanted to be a grandmaster in chess.
Yeah, yeah.
He reached the level of FIDE master, but then he didn't get much because up in the north there's not enough of sponsorship for chess.
Yeah.
So that is why he decided to go for cricket.
Yeah. But there are a few Delhi guys who are grandmasters and all, right?
Very few, very few.
There's
But
Tanya Sachdev, I know.
Yeah,
There is,
Tanya is, yes.
Then there were there were a couple of, there's a guy who was saying Dwarka, I've forgotten his name, yeah. Come on, man, you're the chess expert.
I don't remember. Because of the focus in cricket, I'm so out of chess. I have to get back into it.
Promita Bhakat is saying Babu Rao is the best.
With
Thank
3 hearts.
you,
With
thank
3
you.
hearts.
I know.
Yes.
Come on, do it.
Babu Rao.
Do it.
ये बाबू राव का स्टाइल है रे आज राजस्थान रॉयल्स ही जीते
Like Ramiz Ali is saying, Babu Rao's prediction means RR will
Lose.
Yeah, easy win for RCB.
Yeah.
बट अगेन वक्त बदलता है एंड माई टाइम इज नाउ एंड एज द 2015 song it's time for us, it's time for me.
It's time for Africa. This time for
Africa.
Africa.
Even with that, I was thinking of, when my time is now is actually a lyric in the old John Cena theme song. Your time is not my time.
my
My
time
time
is
is
now.
now.
Yeah,
Right?
John Cena.
Like WWE fans just went like, yeah, you can't see me.
Yes,
All that
yes.
is French to me. Talking about the age gap, let me just point out something. Remember, see, this is where I talk about the age gap. Yesterday, when we were talking about South Indian villains, and I mentioned one villain, and you mentioned another one, right? So realize that the villain that I was talking about was different to the villain that you were talking about.
Oh, is it?
You were
Wow.
talking about this gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Rami Reddy.
Rami Reddy. No, I had mentioned a villain called Shetty, who used to come a decade or before that, who happens to be Rohit Shetty's father apparently.
Oh.
He's the one that I was talking about, but it's the generational gap. So one of our good friends and watcher is Chandresh Narayanan, my good friend,
Yeah.
and he said that you know what, now you will realize the age difference with the colleagues that you sit with, because I mentioned Shetty, who is a different villain. Let me take his photo out also. But you spoke about him. I recognize this
Yes.
one.
Yes.
You would recognize, yes. But this is a new age South Indian villain in North Indian films that we were talking
Okay.
about. I was talking about another villain. Let me find his. So thanks to Chandresh for pointing that out.
As always, eagle-eyed Chandresh.
Yes.
Love you, Nikhil sir.
Arey.
Arey. Shivam got up to tell us that Ashish
Dil
Pandey
garden ho gaya.
has written "Love you, Nikhil sir." Really.
Really?
So
Really?
here,
He's making it clear. It's real.
Really?
here is the villain that I was talking about. Here's the image.
Oh damn! I don't know.
Okay, yes.
I have no
yes.
idea.
He's Rohit Shetty's
Father,
father. Oh my
apparently.
god.
I feel so
Okay.
young.
He
We are so young in comparison.
I saw him in, I think he was one of the guys. I saw him in that song, Kajra Mohabbat
Harsh
Wala.
Patel is
Kajra
talking-
mohabbat
Harsh Patel is talking
wala.
Nikhil bhai. On that note, Chess Olympiad coming to India. Woo.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Announced Chess
yes.
Olympiad is coming.
Why didn't you not
Yes,
tell us this?
Olympiad is coming.
He did not tell
In
us.
Chennai.
In Chennai.
In Chennai, yes.
Where else but Chennai?
2020 gold medalist, finally India became in the Chess Olympiad after 96 years, by the way. And
96
how,
years.
96 years after playing the Chess Olympiad, when it started, India won the gold medal. But how did they win the gold medal? The two Indian players suffered power outages. So they decided that, okay, since it's a power outage, Corona, you have to play in your rooms, you can't travel. So it was decided that match would be cancelled. And that is why India won the gold, shared it with Russia.
Wow.
Sort
Okay.
of Russia also expected that way.
Just saying a few comments. Subhranshu Panda, who watches us regularly, is saying, "You guys are awesome. Really appreciate your knowledge and effort on cricket. You guys not only are taking our questions but also explaining them in detail. Thanks a lot." And that's what our
Thank
job
you.
is.
Doing that.
Our job is that to
Really
give you
enjoying.
clarity on things.
We try our best.
Yeah.
Kushal Khurana
Sometimes we may also be wrong,
Kushal
but we try
Khurana
our
wants
best.
to do that fan prediction that how Lasith Embuldeniya got rid of Virat Kohli. Look at it.
What?
Oh,
Faf 100 partnership. UZ Pfeiffer, DK finishes off in style. Kohli bowled Chahal 33 of 29 balls.
Oh my God.
That's all.
That's
I'm the biggest
scary.
RCB
If that
fan.
comes true, Kushal Khurana, we will have you live on our show.
Exactly,
God, yeah.
exactly. Oh my god.
Okay, there were a
That
few.
Lasith Embuldeniya prediction was freaky.
Yes, on Twitter.
Yes.
Explain it, nah. Just don't.
Lasith, Kushal Khurana is trying to become that fan who had predicted that Virat Kohli will get out on a particular score on a particular day by Lasith Embuldeniya in the Mohali test.
Yes.
And guess what? Kohli was dismissed for that same score in that exact way by that same bowler.
Yes.
Oof. Unbelievable.
Shiju Abraham is loving our shows. Say a big hi to him. Thank you,
Hi,
Shiju.
Shiju.
I
Thank
hope
you
you
so
can join
much.
us every day. Cricket fans' question is, he says, I think some cricketers have double character, one in TV and the other. Do you guys agree? But to be honest, a lot of people have double characters.
Yeah.
What we may have that. what we are on screen, we may not be like that.
This will be a way-
Saransh is like true.
Explain. What do you mean?
नहीं, when you go out in a field, you're in a totally different zone altogether. You know, you don't
Yes.
care about whatever's happening outside. When you come out of the field, you have several other things to cope up with as well.
I'm multi-personality personified. Here I'm a kind of semi-comical, semi-expert. In the other places I'm Babu Rao. Babu Rao, Ganpat Rao, Apte. And thanks to the platform for giving me the chance to try and be like Paresh Rawal.
No, but see, cricketers, you got to realize that it's not just with cricketers. A lot of Bollywood stars as well. What they are in front of the camera or interviews is very different to what they may be in person. It's very rare to know somebody what they are in person. And as I said, it could be with us as well.
You know, that's an interesting video idea if we want to talk about, and this is true for Indian cricketers. What are the press conference cliches that we have to encounter more often than not?
We can do a video.
The boys played well. It's all about the processes, and I think we can all just fire off a few.
Ashish Nehra will be the exception to the norm.
It's over.
There's a meme going around. Babar Azam was like really saying, we have to continue the process, you have to go well. Ashish Nehra, 3 simple words. Eat well, sleep well, rest well. That's it. Vintage Ashish Nehra.
6 words.
No, for that matter, even Rohit would be someone who really speaks his mind more often than not.
Yeah.
I think Dhoni is consistent.
Yeah,
What he is
saying nothing.
what he's on the cricket field, he's outside also. Very silent, cut off.
You know, and the thing with that was that when he actually said something, people really noticed. Like when he criticized Rahane's strike rate in India, he said it in a very short way, but people were like, he's other bowler as well. He said more than what he normally does, which is also interesting.
No, but you're talking about a guy who doesn't even speak at meetings, team meetings, and all that.
Who?
Dhoni. Dhoni doesn't like to speak.
Well,
at-
he speaks, but he doesn't like a lot of data references. So it'll be
That's
mostly be
Yes.
like, you know,
So
what
maybe
we should
Dhoni,
do,
what he's on the
plans.
field, he's off the
Yeah.
field also, he's the same.
That
Cut
is-
off,
Prediction
reclusive.
time.
Okay, prediction time.
Start with
Rajasthan Royals. And the
RCB.
force is with me.
Another Shapat types and all he's
We
taking.
make a prediction.
Okay, score 140. Rajasthan
Yeah.
Royals.
यार 140 में राजस्थान में जीता
Shane,
I think
150.
RR will score 160, but RCB will win.
Yeah, I think so. It's a different pitch. 165 and RCB will win because he picked RR.
I'm going with 160 or okay, let me do 150 for RCB. Rajasthan and RCB wins.
Okay, so if they make 160, he said RR is making 160, he said RCB 140. So RR winning. RR winning.
You've confused me.
But I did not understand a single word he said.
Neither did I.
What did he say?
On that note, bye-bye.